Hi class, so today I'm just going to quickly go over the type tool again with you and show you a few more ways to customize your text if you're going to include it. So we all know that by using your type tool you can click and write any word that you would like. So I'm just going to write the word peaceful for my example. I can highlight it, I can change the color of it, maybe I want to make it white, and change the size of it. If I wanted to make it even bigger, I could add 2. That's too big. Make it like that big. And I can obviously change the type of font that I choose to use, right? Then using my move tool, I can move it around and I can add it to my image. I can lower the opacity of it. I can also add a layer style, right? So if I wanted to, let's say, add a drop shadow to this, I could. It looks pretty. I'm not going to. And I can also click on my type tool, highlight my text, and warp it, right? So I can go to my warp and I can change the shape of it if I wanted to. If I wanted to add like a little bit of an arch, right? I could, or I can even choose from the above or below. So I'm going to keep this like this for a second. And the last thing actually I'm going to go over is your character bar. Remember, you can space out your information if you wanted more space, if you wanted less space between text. You can lower the point size, right? I can make it bold, italicize if it allows me to, and so forth. So remember those tools that I just went over, okay? Now let's say you really wanted to customize your text further than what I've just done, okay? What you can do is using your pen tool. Okay, so you have this pen tool right here. It looks like a calligraphy pen. If you click on it, a little calligraphy pen pops up, and you can create line segments that you can type on. So what you first want to do is create a line segment starting left to right. So I'm going to click left, click right, and you can see that it creates this nice little line segment, okay? And you can type on this line segment. So in order to type on it, you got to go to your type tool, okay? And when I place my type tool on the line, you'll see that it turns into this little squiggle. So it goes from a square, from a normal type cursor to a little squiggle, okay? So I'm going to click and my cursor pops up. You want to make sure when you type that you're on your left line, or else it's going to kind of mess with your positioning of your text. So don't put it on center or right. Make sure it's on left. Just something that I've noticed doing this through the years. And I'm going to write the word peaceful again. Okay. So let's say I wanted to customize this curve that I'm going to create with the word peaceful. What I can do is now using my direct selection tool. So you have your pen tool, and then underneath your type tool you have your, if you click and hold, you have path selection and direct selection. Path selection will take this path that you have here and move it, okay? Direct selection will take each individual point and it will move the point, okay? So that's why you want to be on direct selection, or it'll look like a white move tool, okay? So I can have the text go diagonal. I can also add to. So you're probably like, Miss well, I could do this just the other way too, just fine. But if you really wanted to customize it and have it maybe swirl across the whole page, I can add to. So using my pen tool, I'm going to add an anchor point. So I can add and delete anchor points. I'm going to add an anchor point. Okay, I'm actually going to add 2 on this line. So I'm going to add 1, and I'm going to add 2. Okay, and what those do is it adds points to your line segments and then anchor bars, which I'll explain. Going back to my direct selection tool, okay, I can take those points and I can move them up and down to change the shape of my path. Okay, and then I have these anchor bars that also move. Okay, that also can move this line. Okay. you play around with the actual shape. So now, let's say this was the shape of the path that I wanted my text to run along. I could now write the word peaceful, right? And notice the third peaceful didn't go through all the way, but what I can do is move it, just make this a little bit longer and it should pop up, right? And then now I have a custom line that I created with my word on it, right? So your two options obviously would be the approach that I originally taught you, or you can add text using the pen tool. If you do add text using the pen tool, I will give you plus 2 points towards your project, but it would have to be something where you added anchor points and really manipulated the path and not just created one straight line segment. All right, I hope this is helpful.